Hi, my name is Tom. Welcome to the Red Barn. Today I'm going to show you the chip collection setup that I have made for my planer. I found that as I was using my shop vac to suck up the chips as my planer ejected them, I was having to empty it out over and over and over again, just in one job. And so I wanted something that held more waste, so I would only have to empty it once per job at the most. And so this is what I came up with. I combined inspiration from a couple of different YouTubers to create this chip collection system. The first and most obvious one would be John Heisz from ibuildit.ca. He built a similar chip collection system using a trash can. But I also integrated some features found on the YouTube channel Shop Built, where he used a fitting from a shop vac to create a cyclonic collector with a bucket. And so we start with the 29-gallon steel trash can, and then as you can see, I added the fitting from the shop vac to that. I cut out a rectangular shape that matched the shape of this fitting, and then I glued it all in. I screwed it in a couple locations, as you can see right here, and then I cut off any of the excess to just open up the mouth a little bit to let more air flow through. And the idea behind that was that it would create kind of a tangential flow that would create a cyclone and help the chips to fall down to the bottom of the can instead of blowing up, trying to blow up through the top. Now the lid is, I used the lid of the trash can and I cut out a 12-inch by 12-inch hole in the top, and then I made these L-shaped brackets out of just some scrap wood that I had laying around, and I attached those brackets with the filter in place just with some very small, these are actually gutter screws, just small sheet metal screws. And then I made sure to put a healthy bead of silicone all the way around. And the reason I have the blue tape down is in case, or when inevitably I have to change out this filter, all I have to do is lift up the blue tape and the seal is broken. This is kind of experimental. We'll see how well it works in practice, but I'm pretty optimistic that it will work. So the lid gets placed on top. I have a bungee that I use. I thread it through the handles, and that helps keep the lid down. The planer that I'm using, you may be able to see it right here, is a DeWalt planer, and it has its own chip ejection. And so it actually blows a very high cubic footage of air and chips into the chip collector. And so I have to hold the lid down with the bungee so I don't blow the lid off. So let's see it in operation. Okay, let's see how well the chip collector worked. I already took the bungee cord off the top. So as you can see, pretty much all the planer chips have collected in the can. Also, if you look at the filter that I attached to the lid, you can see that there's quite a bit of an accumulation of fine particles of dust as well. This filter, I've used it several times, and I cleaned it with a shop vac in between uses, and it seems to do a pretty good job. I'm guessing that it won't last very long, but these 12 by 12 by 1 furnace filters are relatively cheap, and so I don't mind replacing them. Well, there you have it. Nothing too complicated. I don't feel like something has to be overly complicated to be incredibly useful. Again, the issue I was dealing with was frequent emptying of my shop vac back here, as well as the clogging of the filter. It was getting out of hand, and so that's why I built this. What would you do different? Please leave your suggestions in the comments below. I've got some more future plans for this base unit. I'd like to add a new top to it, maybe with a blower motor, and try to make my own small dust collection system out of this as well. I'd like to thank John Heisz from iBuildit.ca and from the Shop Built channel for their inspiration for this build, and I will be seeing you guys soon.